I hate staying home alone. We just recently moved to our new house. My dad bought it at an auction. The house was better than our previous one. It had a big pool in the backyard and a small garden beside of it. There was a big tree in the garden which grew scented yellow flowers. The backyard is probably the only reason why I was excited to move into this house. The house was also close to my college, which was another great benefit. Both of my parents travel a lot, hence I am accustomed to staying by myself at home some nights. We had tight securities and alarms all around this new house, too. There was no way one could break in without setting the alarm off, so I never had anything to worry about. At the back of our house, there stood an old 3-story apartment. I saw people on the first and ground floor, but the second floor felt like no one stays there. The second story's bedroom window was faced directly at the backside of our house. It was a calm and quiet community, so I kind of liked chilling while my parents are gone. One weekend, my parents were off to visit my sick aunt in LA. I stayed back at home like usual. It was a Saturday night, hence all my friends wanted to hang out at a friend's house. I promised my parents not to stay out late, so after a couple of beers, I came back home. It was 9 p.m., and I wasn't feeling sleepy at all. I went upstairs and got in my bathing suit and went for a swim in the pool. It was a hot summer night. I poured myself a glass of fresh orange juice and put on some music. I swam for some time, then I drank juice while lying on my pool raft and fell asleep eventually. Suddenly, I heard a noise. I woke up from my slumber. The backyard was all empty. No one was around. Just then, my eyes went to the second-floor window of the nearby building. A frail, pale old woman was standing in front of the window looking directly at me. Her eyes were so big that her stare kind of freaked me out. I didn't say anything. I looked at my watch, and it was around 10 p.m. I kept on lying on my raft, thinking she would leave on her own. After a couple of minutes, when I looked back up, she was gone. I felt relieved and kept thinking to myself, how come I've never seen her from before? I always thought that no one lives in the second-floor apartment. I heard my phone ringing inside the house, so I came out of the pool thinking it could be my parents. I went inside and closed the door behind me. As I walked to get my phone, I heard a whispering voice coming from behind, and I froze. It was an old woman's voice. I slowly looked around, and my heart drowned in horror. That old, creepy woman was standing behind me. I had no idea how she got into the house. Her wide, cold death stare made my legs numb. I couldn't walk away even though I wanted to so badly. I spoke in a broken voice. Ma'am? How did you get inside? She slightly opened her toothless mouth and said, Isabel, are you still here? Run away now, or your husband will come and bury you there. Then she lifted her weak, lean hand and pointed towards the tree in our garden with her long, creepy fingers. My blood turned to ice. I replied in a shaky voice, Oh my God! What are you saying? She didn't answer, just kept staring at the tree and then back to my face. Her mouth opened and eyes widened. It was such a horrible sight. Suddenly, my phone again rang, and I ran towards my room frantically this time. I got inside my room and locked the door. It was my dad. I answered the phone and started sobbing terribly. My dad got all freaked out and called 911 on my behalf. The cops came after 10 minutes. I was still in my room. I took my time and slowly approached the door. By this time, the old lady was gone. I told the cops everything. They immediately went to the building and asked a guy about the tenant on the second floor. It came out as a shock that the apartment is empty for the last 2 years. But the guy also said that an old lady used to live in the apartment back then. She was sick and bedridden, hence she spent most of the time of her days sitting near that window inside the dark room. Her children left her alone during her last days, and she even died sitting near that window. 2 cops stayed back with me that night. The next morning when my parents arrived, the cops told them I might have had a bad dream or something. While they were talking, something popped in my mind. I asked my dad what the name was for the previous owners of our house. He said the bank told him a woman lived with her husband in this house before we moved in. Her name was Isabel Monroe, and it was 2 years ago. Why are you asking? My dad added. My heart started to beat fast. I told them the old woman addressed me as Isabel and said her husband buried her under that tree. They all looked very surprised. The cops decided to check our backyard. When they dug under the tree, scaring the hell out of everyone, a skeleton of a full-grown woman got discovered from our garden. It had a ring on its left hand. My mom was completely paranoid, and so was me and my dad from the thought of knowing that a dead person was buried in the backyard without our knowledge. The cops investigated this matter, and they came to know that it was indeed the remains of the woman named Isabel. She went missing one night, and her husband filed a missing person report, but after filing that report, he too left town. Due to a lack of evidence, the police couldn't find any details about her. Also, no one came to interrogate about her. Her autopsy reports signified that she was murdered by a serious injury made with a blunt object on the back of her head. The cops suspect it was her husband who murdered her and buried her under that tree. They are still searching for her husband. I am very much sure that the old lady saw this entire incident from her room's window, but couldn't tell anyone. Even though people find it hard to believe, I think she came back to tell me about it. And I believe it was her ghost that I saw that night. But the question that kept eating my mind was, why me? This too got answered when the cops published Isabel's picture in the local newspaper, stating about this gruesome case. Isabel looks exactly like me. Or should I say, I look exactly like her. My parents are still in deep shock. I have no idea what to say. We are still living in this house, and I haven't seen that old lady ever again.